Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Jason's crisis. Willow rages at Nina. Sasha grilled. The air in Port Charles was thick with tension, the kind that precedes a storm. Jason Morgan, a man known for his stoic demeanor and unshakable resolve, found himself at the center of a crisis that threatened to unravel everything he had built. His world, once a carefully constructed fortress of loyalty and control, was crumbling under the weight of secrets, betrayals, and the relentless passage of time. Jason's crisis wasn't just external. It was a battle within himself, a struggle to reconcile the man he was with the man he needed to become. Meanwhile, Willow Tate, a woman of quiet strength and unwavering principles, was pushed to her breaking point. Her rage, long simmering beneath the surface, finally erupted in a fiery confrontation with Nina Reeves. The two women, bound by a tangled web of love, loss, and deception, stood on opposite sides of a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. Willow's anger was not just about the present. It was a culmination of years of pain, betrayal, and unanswered questions. And then there was Sasha Gilmore, a woman who had always managed to navigate the treacherous waters of Port Charles with a mix of charm and resilience. But now she found herself in the hot seat, grilled by those who once trusted her. Sasha's secrets, carefully guarded and buried, were coming to light, and the fallout threatened to destroy not only her relationships but also her sense of self. Jason's crisis. Jason Morgan had always been a man of action, a problem solver who thrived in chaos. But this time the chaos was within him. It started with a phone call, a cryptic message from an old ally warning him of an impending threat. At first, Jason dismissed it as paranoia, but as the days passed, the signs became impossible to ignore. Someone was targeting him, not with bullets or brute force but with information. Secrets from his past, long buried, were resurfacing, and they had the power to destroy not only him but also those he loved. The crisis came to a head one evening at the Metro Court Hotel. Jason had arranged a meeting with his closest allies, Sonny Corinthos, Carly Spencer, and Sam McCall. The atmosphere in the room was tense, the weight of unspoken fears hanging heavy in the air. "We need to get ahead of this," Jason said, his voice calm but laced with urgency. "If this information gets out, it won't just be me who pays the price. Everyone in this room, everyone we care about, will be at risk." Carly, ever the strategist, leaned forward. "Do we know who's behind it? Who's digging into your past?" Jason shook his head. "Not yet. But they're good. They've managed to uncover things that even I thought were gone for good." Sam, her eyes filled with concern, reached for Jason's hand. "We'll figure this out. Together. We always do." But Jason wasn't so sure. This wasn't just another enemy to outmaneuver or another threat to neutralize. This was a reckoning with his past, with the choices he had made, and with the person he had become. As he looked around the room at the people who had stood by him through countless battles, he couldn't shake the feeling that this time might be different. Willow rages at Nina. Across town, Willow Tate was grappling with her own turmoil. For months, she had tried to keep the peace, to maintain a semblance of normalcy in the face of Nina Reeves's relentless interference in her life. But enough was enough. The final straw came when Nina, in a misguided attempt to help, revealed a deeply personal secret to Michael Corinthos, Willow's husband. Willow stormed into Crimson, the upscale magazine office where Nina spent most of her days. The employees scattered, sensing the storm that was about to break. Nina looked up from her desk, her expression a mix of surprise and apprehension. "Willow, what a pleasant surprise," Nina began, her tone carefully neutral. "Don't," Willow snapped, cutting her off. "Don't act like this is just a friendly visit. You crossed a line, Nina. A line that you had no right to cross." Nina's eyes narrowed. "I was trying to help. Michael deserved to know the truth." "The truth?" Willow's voice rose, her anger boiling over. "You don't get to decide what the truth is or when it's revealed. This was my life, my secret to share. You had no right to take that away from me." Nina stood, her own temper flaring. "I was trying to protect you, to protect Michael. You're so blinded by your anger at me that you can't see that. Protect us." Willow laughed bitterly. "You don't know the first thing about protecting anyone. All you've ever done is cause pain and chaos. You think you can just waltz into people's lives and fix everything, but you don't fix anything, Nina. You break it. The words hung in the air, a damning indictment of Nina's actions. For a moment Nina looked stricken, as if the weight of Willow's words had finally pierced her defenses. But then her expression hardened, and she took a step closer to Willow. You think you're so perfect, don't you? Nina shot back. Always the victim. Always the one who's been wronged. But you're not innocent in all of this, Willow. You've made your own choices, your own mistakes. Willow's eyes blazed with fury. Maybe I have. But at least I own them. At least I don't go around pretending to be some kind of savior while I destroy everything I touch. The two women stood there, locked in a battle of wills, their shared history a minefield of pain and resentment. It was a confrontation that had been a long time coming, and neither of them was willing to back down. Sasha grilled. While Jason and Willow were grappling with their own crises, Sasha Gilmore found herself in the crosshairs of a different kind of storm. It started with a seemingly innocuous question from Valentine Cassadine, a man who had always been both an ally and a wild card in her life. Sasha, Valentine began, his tone deceptively casual, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. They were sitting in the dining room of Windmere, the Cassadine estate, the grandeur of the surroundings a stark contrast to the tension in the air. Sasha, sensing the shift in Valentine's demeanor, set down her glass of wine and met his gaze. What is it, Valentine? She asked, her voice steady but wary. Valentine leaned back in his chair, his eyes never leaving hers. It's about your past. Specifically, about the time before you came to Port Charles. Sasha's heart skipped a beat, but she kept her expression neutral. What about it? I've been doing some digging, Valentine continued, his tone still light but with an edge of steel, and I've come across some interesting information. Information that suggests there's more to your story than you've let on. Sasha's mind raced. She had worked hard to keep her past buried, to create a new life for herself in Port Charles. But now it seemed her secrets were catching up with her. I don't know what you're talking about, she said, her voice firm but with a hint of defensiveness. Valentine's smile was cold. Don't play games with me, Sasha. I know about the alias you used, the people you left behind. I know about the money, the lies, the deception. What I don't know is why. Why did you come here? What were you running from? Sasha felt a surge of panic, but she forced herself to stay calm. That's none of your business, Valentine. My past is my own. Not when it affects the people I care about, Valentine shot back. Not when it puts them at risk. So I'll ask you again, what are you hiding, Sasha? Poison Carly fights for her life. Carly's world had been turned upside down in a matter of moments. What began as an ordinary day quickly spiraled into a nightmare when she realized something was terribly wrong. Her body felt heavy, her vision blurred, and a cold sweat dripped down her forehead. She had been poisoned. Now lying in a hospital bed, surrounded by the beeping of machines and the sterile scent of antiseptic, Carly fights for her life. Her story is one of resilience, the fragility of human existence, and the unyielding will to survive against all odds. The incident, a silent threat. The poisoning was no accident. Carly had been targeted, though the reasons remained unclear. It could have been a personal vendetta, a professional rivalry, or even a random act of malice. The poison, a silent and insidious threat, had been administered without her knowledge. Perhaps it was slipped into her drink at a social gathering, or maybe it was disguised as a harmless supplement. Whatever the method, the result was the same. Carly's body was under attack and time was running out. The initial symptoms were subtle: nausea, dizziness, and a general feeling of unease. Carly dismissed them as fatigue or a passing illness. But as the hours passed, her condition worsened. Her muscles began to ache, her breathing became labored, and her mind grew foggy. By the time she realized the severity of her situation, the poison had already begun to wreak havoc on her system. The fight for survival. Carly's fight for survival began the moment she was rushed to the hospital. Medical professionals worked tirelessly to stabilize her, administering antidotes, flushing her system, and monitoring her vital signs. The poison had attacked her nervous system, causing seizures and compromising her ability to breathe on her own. She was placed on a ventilator, her body too weak to perform even the most basic functions. But Carly's battle was not just physical. It was also mental. As she drifted in and out of consciousness, she was haunted by fear and uncertainty. Would she survive? Who had done this to her? And why? These questions swirled in her mind, adding to the emotional toll of her ordeal. Yet, amidst the fear there was also determination. Carly refused to give up. She clung to life with a tenacity that surprised even her doctors. The role of modern medicine. Carly's survival hinged on the expertise of her medical team and the advancements of modern medicine. Poisoning, depending on the substance used, can be incredibly difficult to treat. Some toxins have no known antidotes, while others require precise and timely intervention. In Carly's case, the poison was identified quickly, thanks to toxicology tests and the swift actions of her healthcare providers. The treatment process was grueling. Carly underwent multiple rounds of dialysis to remove the toxin from her bloodstream. She was given medications to counteract the poison's effects and support her failing organs. Each day brought new challenges, from managing her pain to preventing secondary infections. Yet, despite the odds, Carly's condition began to improve. Her body, though weakened, was fighting back. The emotional toll. While the physical effects of poisoning are devastating, the emotional and psychological impact can be equally profound. Carly's experience left her grappling with feelings of vulnerability and mistrust. How could she ever feel safe again? The knowledge that someone had deliberately harmed her was a heavy burden to bear. She struggled with anxiety, nightmares, and a sense of betrayal that lingered long after her physical recovery. Support from loved ones played a crucial role in Carly's emotional healing. Her family and friends rallied around her, offering comfort and encouragement. Therapy sessions helped her process the trauma and rebuild her sense of security. Over time, Carly learned to cope with her experience, though it would always remain a part of her story. The investigation. Seeking justice. As Carly fought for her life, another battle was being waged behind the scenes. The search for her attacker. Law enforcement launched an investigation, determined to uncover the truth and bring the perpetrator to justice. The process was painstaking, involving interviews, forensic analysis, and a thorough examination of Carly's recent activities. The investigation revealed a web of potential suspects and motives. Carly's professional success had made her a target for envy, while her personal life was not without its complexities. As the pieces of the puzzle came together, a shocking truth emerged. The person responsible for her poisoning was someone she had once trusted. The betrayal cut deep, but it also provided a sense of closure. Knowing the truth allowed Carly to begin the process of moving forward. The road to recovery. Carly's recovery was a long and arduous journey. The poison had left lasting damage, requiring months of physical therapy and medical follow-ups. She had to relearn how to perform everyday tasks, rebuilding her strength and endurance. The process was frustrating at times, but Carly approached it with the same determination that had kept her alive. Her recovery was not just physical. It was also emotional and spiritual. Carly found solace in activities that brought her joy, from painting to spending time in nature. She also became an advocate for poisoning awareness, sharing her story to educate others about the dangers and warning signs. Through her advocacy, Carly found a sense of purpose, transforming her trauma into a force for good. The broader implications of poisoning. Carly's story is a stark reminder of the dangers of poisoning, a threat that can strike anyone, anywhere. Poisoning can take many forms, from accidental exposure to deliberate acts of harm. It is a global issue, affecting individuals and communities across the world. According to the World Health Organization, hundreds of thousands of people die from poisoning each year, with many more suffering long-term health consequences. Efforts to combat poisoning include public education campaigns, stricter regulations on toxic substances, and improved access to medical care. Yet challenges remain. Many poisoning cases go unreported or misdiagnosed, particularly in regions with limited healthcare resources. Carly's story underscores the importance of vigilance, awareness, and swift action in the face of this silent threat. Lessons learned. Carly's ordeal taught her valuable lessons about resilience, the power of community, and the fragility of life. She learned to appreciate the small moments, a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a friend, the feeling of the sun on her face. She also learned the importance of self-care, both physical and emotional, and the need to prioritize her well-being. Her experience also highlighted the strength of the human spirit. Despite the odds, Carly fought for her life with unwavering determination. Her story is a testament to the power of hope and the will to survive, even in the darkest of times. Conclusion: Poison Carly fights for her life. A simple sentence that encapsulates a harrowing journey of survival, resilience, and redemption. Carly's story is one of courage in the face of unimaginable adversity, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is always hope. Her fight for life is not just a personal battle. It is a universal tale of the human capacity to endure and overcome. General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, March 24th to April 4th, predict that Willow Corinthos will grapple with some Nina Reeves rage before Sasha Gilmore Corbin gets interrogated. Jason Morgan will also handle a crisis while Lulu Spencer confesses. So let's discuss what's in store. During the week of March 24th to 28th, Jason will try to get Carly Spencer to walk away from Jack Brennan, but it looks like she'll keep her romance with him intact. Carly and Brennan will talk about their future later, so they may refuse to let anyone come in the way of the love that's developing. As for Jocelyn Jacks, she'll get a severe reminder of the secrets she'll have to keep as a WSB agent. Vaughn has gave Jocelyn a lesson about it, but it'll be Brennan's turn to admonish Joss about keeping the contents of her training under wraps. At the PCPD, Valentine Cassadine will have a favor to ask of Alexis Davis, so we'll see if that connects to Charlotte Cassadine or something else that Valentine needs taken care of. At Drew Quartermain's residence, Nina will land in some difficulty. After Drew discovers that Nina's been researching in his safe, she'll face his reaction combined with Willow's fury. However, Nina may have recognized Drew's leverage on Portia Robinson in that safe as she'll seek out the doc soon after. It appears like Portia and Nina have a partnership versus Drew coming up, so we'll see what their next move is. Portia has been studying Drew's medical file, so that could play a role in the strategy she intends to carry out against her nemesis. Next, Tracy Quartermain will put Brooke Lynn Quartermain through an interrogation. Since Lois Cerullo abruptly departed back to Bensonhurst for a visit, Tracy may sense the tension she left behind and wonder what's really going on with Brooke Lynn. Ned Quartermain will divulge a new idea, so he might have a strategy to help Lois and Brooke Lynn patch things up. Of course, Ned doesn't know the real story, so may his efforts lead to him receiving any new information concerning the baby and adoption? As for Lulu, she'll make a confession to someone. It doesn't look like Lulu will break the news to Dante Falconeri about the child that's being hidden from him, but might she tell someone like Maxie Jones instead? Other GH spoilers predict Ezra Boyle will press Laura Collins' buttons while Christina Corinthos Davis grows increasingly resentful against Ava Jerome. There'll be some occasion where Ava obtains an advantage and delivers a threat, but Christina's ready to do something big and brave. It'll leave Christina regretting her choice in the aftermath, so may Ava land in harm's way? Back with Jason, he'll have new reasons to be anxious. Whether that concerns Carly's burgeoning connection to Brennan or something else, Jason will undoubtedly be on edge. Meanwhile, Lucky Spencer will have a surprise in store for Elizabeth Baldwin, so that'll hopefully be a romantic one. Across town, Emma Drake will go to extremes. There'll be some scenario that prompts Emma to do something terrible, so Giovanni Gio Palmieri may have to come to her rescue eventually. Once Felicia Scorpio quizzes Sasha, that'll put her on the spot. Will Felicia have concerns regarding Sasha's sudden nest egg, and how she earned it? Sasha will set off some alarm bells if Felicia learns out that she struck a deal with Jen Sidwell. During the week of March 31st to April 4th, viewers should realize that there's more than meets the eye when it comes to Marco. Marco will proceed to Windmere, where it'll likely be revealed that he's Sidwell's son with Natalia Ramirez. Lucas Jones is quickly falling hard for Marco, but can the new man in his life really be trusted? Brad Cooper might conduct some sleuthing and feel the need to defend Lucas as Marco's dark side comes to light. As for Sonny Corinthos' heart concerns, how long can he realistically keep putting those on the back burner without consequences? Sonny's stress will be on the rise shortly, so it could lead to his worst medical crisis yet if he's not careful. General Hospital spoilers suggest the next 2 weeks will offer some drama and curveballs, so stay tuned for updates on all the action. In Jack's hotel room, Carly shared a bottle of champagne with Jack while Valentine lurked in the corridor. After kissing, Jack realized that the label on the bottle had been replaced and slapped the glass out of her hand. It was too late since she passed out. Valentine heard what transpired through the door and appeared content, so he left the motel swiftly. Jack contacted 911 and informed them Carly had taken an unknown toxin. Isaiah was the doctor on call when Jack took Carly into General Hospital. Jack then called the WSB to send agents there to examine the poison. When they came, Jack gave them instructions. He directed one to test the poison in the bottle and check the security tape at the hotel to see who brought it, and the other agent he told to guard Carly. Jack pushed his WSB authority to control the situation and wouldn't let the staff call Sonny or anybody on Carly's behalf since he declared it was a matter of national security. Isaiah informed Willow they needed to find out what poison Carly ingested immediately away. Anna showed there and Jack filled her in on what transpired. Soon later, his agents called him and told him that Carly had been poisoned by polonium. At Sonny's, Jason explained that Valentine was the one who sent Rocco the text message, so he could send Charlotte home. He then told about the WSB death squad that he and Anna fought off to defend Valentine and Charlotte. Sonny was delighted that Charlotte came home so the whole family could start to recover. Sonny then revealed that Brick didn't have any knowledge on who could have set the explosives in his flat. But Jason assumed since nobody was perfect, they would eventually find evidence somehow. Sonny stated they wouldn't feel secure until they found out who was guilty and took them out. Sonny then told Jason that Carly spoke to Michael on the phone and he was doing okay, but whomever damaged him was going to pay. Sonny pondered why a brilliant man like Sidwell would go after his family. They pushed Sidwell aside for the moment and tried to figure out who else would want to go after Sonny. After discussing about it, they determined that either somebody bought the device from the intelligence community or somebody in the intelligence community wanted to take Sonny out. Sonny told Jason to make sure he took excellent care of Sasha since someone was coming after them, and she could be in jeopardy because of her connection to Jason. Later, a black hooded figure entered Sonny's residence and retrieved a small briefcase from a secret area in the fireplace. He opened it, and there were many passports with Valentine and Charlotte's images in them, but their names were Will Cortland and Melanie Cortland. Sonny soon emerged with a gun to learn that the hooded man was Valentine. At the Quartermaines, Tracy was relieved when Gio told her there weren't any government officials or bulldozers at the house. Brooke Lynn asked Tracy what she was doing. Tracy stated she felt that things had gone out of control after being detained. Chase reminded her that she had been in a physical argument with a government official. Tracy soon left so Sasha, Gio, Brooke Lynn, and Chase all had a talk about her. Sasha was concerned about Tracy's well-being because money didn't matter where the land issue was concerned. She went down to the crypt 3 times a week to visit her family members. Brooke Lynn claimed Tracy felt connected to her parents and brother there, and Sasha said Tracy usually put fresh flowers in the tomb, signifying the place genuinely significant to her. Chase indicated that Drew was making a huge issue over a matter of a few feet merely to damage his family. Brooke Lynn commented, "Love her or hate her, Drew has picked a fight with the wrong broad." Gio noted that Tracy could take anybody on any corner of Bensonhurst. Sasha and Gio talked about how Tracy had a unique way of showing people she loved them, and even though they were outsiders, they felt like they were part of something incredibly special. When Jason later arrived home, Sasha told him they wanted to talk about the baby. Meanwhile, Brooke Lynn informed Chase how Lois had told Gloria about her pregnancy all those years ago. Brooke Lynn mourned all the back-and-forth secrets that developed from her pregnancy and realized by not telling Chase the complete story, she was holding things back from him just like her family held things back from her. Ultimately, she told Chase that Dante was her baby's father. Chase looked stunned. At Laura's, Martin urged his sister they should focus on the good, because things were looking up for their family. He claimed he was hoped that because Valentine was still in the wind, Lulu would get past his business relationship with the Cassadines. Anna arrived up at Laura's door with U.S. Marshal Thompson, who had an arrest warrant for Martin. The attorney appeared astonished when he heard the news. Anna added that one of Martin's ex-wives filed charges because he was in behind with alimony payments, but the warrant didn't indicate which wife. Martin was stunned he was being extradited to California for anything like that. Soon, Tracy showed in and Martin accused her of being behind the arrest. With a grin she admitted she was. She definitely enjoyed in his misery. When questioned how she knew to make a phone call checking into Martin's finances, Tracy claimed she heard Lucy talking about the windfall that Martin earned from selling Valentine's house, and assumed he would want to hide that money from his ex-wives. He said he hadn't declared it as income yet. He referred to his ex-wife, who he felt was behind it, as being meaner than Blair Kramer. "If I go to California, this will put me on the rack and make microwave popcorn," Marty stated. Laura wondered what they needed to do to make it go gone. Tracy stated that was one of the effects of him removing her family from their resting places on behalf of Drew. Laura argued that it was Drew who made everything part of the public record. She wondered how Tracy could hold Martin accountable, when she knew full well that Drew was the one behind everything. Martin then stuck his foot in his mouth, so Tracy urged the U.S. Marshal to do his duty and arrest Martin. Trina sullenly grasped the dove that Spencer had given her when Kai came to the door. He talked to her through it and told her he understood her need to be alone. When she was ready to not be alone, he would be there for her. Eventually, Trina opened the door and stated she didn't want to be alone after all. She told Kai about how Spencer died last year, and she didn't feel like celebrating her birthday straight after. This birthday surprise was better than previous years, but Emma's gift was the identical book Spencer had given her, so everything came crashing back to her. She felt the grief was behind her, but every once in a while it would sneak back up. She let Kai view the book and he read the inscription. She told him all about Spencer and the disaster with Esme, who ended up sleeping with Nicholas. "Wow," he said, adding, "that is a long-haul revenge play." She told him that when she and Spencer traveled to Paris so she could study at the Sorbonne, Esme had found them and caused Spencer's death. Kai later used an art analogy to inform Trina that he believed she was bold and stunning. Before he departed, he gave her a gift, which was a framed photo of them and the murals they had done at the art museum. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, March 24th to Friday, March 28th. Tease tough ultimatums, future plans and lovely surprises. Jason Morgan makes a severe ultimatum, Carly Spencer talks future plans, and Lucky Spencer has a nice surprise. Stern ultimatums and special requests. Monday, March 24th. Jason has issued an ultimatum to Carly, warning her that she needs to break things with Jack Brennan now. It seems that their long friendship is over if she doesn't. She cries he's never quit on her before, and doesn't want him to start now, but he has some conditions. Meanwhile, Valentine Cassadine has called Alexis Davis over to the PCPD, concerning his legal difficulties, and has a special request. Elsewhere, Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson connect, while Lucas Jones confides in Elizabeth Baldwin. In the meantime, Drew Quartermain delivers some reassurance to Willow Corinthos. Future plans and upper hands. Tuesday, March 25th. Carly and Brennan debate their future, and whether there will be any future plans, while elsewhere, Ava gets the upper hand in a scenario. In the meantime, Elizabeth seeks information from Rick Lansing, potentially referring to her concerns about the hospital she confessed to Lucas. Over at the Quartermain mansion, Tracy Quartermain grills Brooke Lynn Quartermain Chase. Ned Quartermain also has a plan that he will divulge, but is it business or is it personal? Admissions and questions. Wednesday, March 26th. Lulu Spencer makes an admission, while elsewhere, Jordan Ashford asks Curtis Ashford. In the meantime, Ava briefs Rick about her precarious situation. Also, Christina Corinthos Davis is on the warpath, perhaps still over the matter of Avery Corinthos Jerome's custody, and the death of Christina's kid. Elsewhere, Laura Collins and the new congressman in town, Ezra Boyle, clash. Boyle appears to be in alliance with Drew, and nothing good can come of it as far as the mayor's concerned. Sweet surprises and wise wariness. Thursday, March 27th. Lucky has a sweet surprise for Elizabeth, while Jason is cautious, and he's wise to be wary, knowing the situations he's been engaged in. Elsewhere, Felicia Scorpio puts Sasha Corbin on the spot. Is she having her doubts Jason's the baby daddy? In the meantime, Jordan opens out to her friend on the way to being more than a friend, Isaiah Gannon. Also, Alexis finds reasons to summon Rick to her office. Reflection and regrets. Friday, March 28th. Anna Devane focuses on her history, and a lot of that introspection certainly includes memories of her romance with Valentine. In the meantime, Christina laments her decision. What has she done now? Elsewhere, Elizabeth and Tracy have a talk about Drew. There was a time where Liz and Drew were really close. Back with the Scorpios, Emma Scorpio Drake takes severe action over a matter. And as for Ava, she finds herself uttering a threat. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Monday, March 24th. Tease of Friends' wisdom, family guidance, and a boss's warning. Ava Jerome provides some wisdom, Alexis Davis some familial counsel, and Jocelyn Jacks gets a boss's warning.